What's happening, legends? Welcome back to the Becoming Reborn podcast. Today, the podcast is going to get deep. It's what would your kids say about you? Oof,
Yeah.
straight away, right?
Could smack you between the eyes.
Yeah, and today, this is not about us, smacking you between the eyes, so to speak. But if it does,
Maybe that's a look in the mirror.
exactly. But also on the flip side, this could be a really nice moment for you guys that are great parents out there to reflect and be grateful for what you've been able to produce with your kids and the relationship you have with your kids. So
Yeah.
I've got some questions, and I know that Pat hasn't read any of them.
No.
So it's going to be really
Grand
good.
total of 0.
Yeah.
We're going in raw.
But I don't think you need to prepare for this. As you guys have heard plenty of times in our podcast, and Pat actually got emotional a few weeks ago on one of the podcasts. Sorry, but he did. I can't believe it. It was incredible. Anyways,
What are you laughing at, new?
Anyways, guys, us being a parent trumps all. We love what we do at Reborn more than most people love their job. I reckon.
Yeah.
I was actually explaining to the girls this morning when they were asking me if I was excited to go away. I said, look, I love my family. I love going on holidays, but at the same time, I don't really get too excited because I love what I do.
Yeah, you don't feel you need a holiday to escape from your 9 to 5.
Yes, and that's obviously it's rare, but also we get to spend an ample amount of time around our kids because our work it revolves around our kids essentially. All right, so today could get a little bit deep, but it's going to be a good fun one. The first part, Patty.
Yes.
What do you want your kids to remember you for one day?
What do you want your kids to remember you for one day? Huh?
Like,
I'm
what do you?
confused.
Not as in like one day. Like one day, what do you want your kids to remember?
Oh, what? So like comma after the 4.
Sorry.
Like, what do you want your kids to remember you for one day later? It's a hard one. I kind of like being the fun parent. Sorry, not that there's only one, but that like I as in, and when I say that, I mean I would like my kids to think back and remember all the fun memories that we made, but also firm but fair.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
That's
because
really good.
I always try to be firm but fair, and the
Yeah.
hard thing is when you say something to one of the kids in a moment of weakness, like you can have this, and then you're like, shit, I've got to follow through with it.
Yeah.
Happens a lot. And I'll tell you what, my 8-year-old Mason, you can tell him to put his shoes on 17 times and he will swear black and blue that he doesn't remember it or that you never said it. And I reckon I could tell him right now, I'll get you an ice cream on Saturday night in 4 weeks' time after we have dinner. He remembers. Like his memory for that kind of stuff is unbeatable. And there's even been times when he has said something to me like, Daddy, you said that I would be able to get this. And I'm like, I have no memory of it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to back him because he's got enough runs on the board that he always remembers these things. I think his memory's better than mine in that sense.
How crazy is how good kids' memories are with that type
When
of
they
thing.
want to.
Yeah. It's incredible.
What about you, Travis?
What I want my kids, like similar to you, the firm but fair part was what resonated with me just then. Mine is just like a bit of a leader as well to like guide them into life. Like life's not easy. Life can be quite difficult, and there's going to be times where, not necessarily full on hard times, but in everyone's life there is harder times, and I just hope that I lead them so that when those times do arise, that they are able to get through them with resilience. And I hope that they lean on me for the good times and the bad times.
Yep. Can I go again with that?
Yeah, of course.
Another thing is, and this is something that I really do try and push with my kids, that I love them no matter what. And it's the words that I often say to them when my daughter will say, I love you. And I say, I love you too, Zadie, no matter what. No matter what you do, I love you no matter what. And like I hear stories about, and yes, previous generations, something like a son who is gay and know they're gay and they always knew they were gay, but they could never tell their dad. And or if they do tell their dad doesn't love them or doesn't respect them. And that just absolutely breaks my heart. Really.
Yeah, relatives. Yeah, it's actually it's on I actually watched this the other day on my own social media. Was my I don't know if I think I can say it because it's Kylie Kwong.
Yep.
So that's my cousin.
Yep.
Not auntie, she's my cousin. Look, they all blend
It's okay.
together. There's a lot of them.
Relative.
And she did an interview. This would have been years ago, like probably 20 years ago now. But it came up randomly on my Instagram the other day, and it was her talking to her about my uncle when she came out to him. And the day she came out to him, he said, "I love you. I respect your honesty, but I can't have you living in my house." And he disowned her.
That is heartbreaking, bro.
Yeah, I don't know where, and he ended up passing away not too long ago, and I don't. It's not my place to kind of talk about how their relationship was after that, but yeah, that broke my heart watching that. Like I kind of knew as a kid, like you kind of can pick up on things, but I didn't know it was to that level.
Yeah.
And that was heartbreaking to watch like my cousin talk about that.
Yeah, I sort of I saw something that I didn't want to ever see in my son. So Cooper is my eldest. At 4 years old, he started playing rugby league, like both of our sons did, Travis. And he played for the first 3 years. And I coached him for 2 of those years. And I could tell from the get-go, he didn't love it. He's not a big kid. He's not the rough and tumble kid. And he would kind of get thrown around a bit. And I remember when he'd finished the year of the under sevens and he was going into the under eights. And I said, Coopy, do you want to play footy again next year? And he said, oh, okay. And I said, buddy, do you want to play? And he's like, yeah, I guess so. And I was like, all right, rewind. And I'm like, Coopy, did you say yes that you want to play footy because you want to play footy or because you think Dad wants you to play footy? And he goes, because Dad wants me to play footy. I said, no, buddy, no. I want you to do what you want to do. And yes, if you played footy, I would love it. But if you don't want to play footy, that's okay. Like, I don't want you to think that you have to do what I want you to do and that if you choose to do something else, I'm not going to like you as much. And I'm jumping to conclusions here. It was never that in depth. But I was like, no, buddy, you can play soccer, you can play basketball, you can play badminton for you. I don't care. Like, I will back you and support you, whatever you want to do. So don't ever think that you have to do something because Daddy wants you to do something. And I try and make that point to my kids of like, I will love you no matter what. I don't care if you don't want to do anything that I'm interested in. I will come and watch a piano performance if that's what you want to do. Go for it. So like that, love no matter what.
Yeah, I'm a big believer on that one too, Patrick. Now, the question that I want all our listeners to ask themselves: if someone interviewed your kids today, what would they say about you? All right. So the next question is the first one. If your kids described you in 3 words today, what would they say? Now,
we should do this.
I have.
Oh, get out! Wait, your kids or my kids?
Both. But the only problem is, Denny, the kids were already gone, so she's just gonna think what the kids would say. And I asked for 3 words, and she didn't give me. But look, she didn't read.
We don't need detail.
But I love that from her. I'm gonna say the first one because it's a giggle.
Yeah.
And you kind of already touched on sexuality before. So I said, Danny, what would the kids say about Patty in 3 words? And she wrote back, I know what Zadie would say. Big gay Patty.
We've got a little bit of we can probably tell, right? We've got it's a little nickname that we have with the boys in the office here that I'm Big Gay Patty. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's seen as a
compliment.
Yeah.
The ultimate compliment.
And
we love the boys a lot.
We do love the boys a lot. And sometimes we wish we were gay because our lives would be there'd be a lot less drama. That's fair to say, isn't it? The way you're throwing your head up there like that, Travis, makes me feel like I've overstepped the line here. We might have to cut this podcast out. But what I'm getting at Danny, just don't listen to that last part. But it's a term of endearment that we use for each other, and I call myself Big Gay Patty. That's the right term of endearment. That's the words I was looking for before. But we kind of had to reel it back in a little bit because I went to pick up my 6-year-old daughter from school. Yes. And I said, Zadie, and like across like 10, 15, 20 meters with all these other kindergarten parents around. She goes, "Big gay Patty," and like ran to jump into my arms, and I'm like, "Oh, maybe just call me Dad." Like when we're out in public,
or BGP,
or BG. She calls me BGP now.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
and I say gay can also mean happy. It's Big Happy Daddy.
Yeah. All right, either way, you're the man.
Thanks so much.
All right. So what she ended up writing was, Zadie will probably say that he's so strong. Cooper takes them on the best adventures. Mace, the most fun dad ever. So when you were talking about at the start about being like the fun dad, like the cool thing is you're already being represented that way from reading that. Zadie thinks you're strong, but I know she thinks she'd take her on great adventures as well. But that sums up what you were saying.
Yeah.
Which
and
is
I love that.
fantastic.
I love that. I see things, you see things pop up on Instagram where it's like you only get your kid's childhood once, and the memories you create then are the memories that they'll have forever. And it's like, I want to make those memories as much as I can. So I love that. Even though it came from my wife, not my kids, but I understand.
We'll get them. We'll get them. And then we'll update something. I don't know. We'll do it somewhere.
What about you?
So Jetty, he's adorable. Jet's with his mum this morning, so I had to message him, and he said, sporty, caring, and protective. I don't know what sporty means, but
Athletic.
he's so
Sporty.
cute.
He is cute. That's great.
Oh, he's so cute. And then
I'm trying to think what I reckon Ace would say.
I
I reckon Ace would say something about you being a leader, and that's what you wanted.
Nah.
No?
Oh,
Kind
nah,
of?
not really. So Mimi said love, strong, and kisses. Makes sense.
Guilty.
So I've might have blackmailed her. As you heard on our phone call Wednesday, she wants an e-bike because her cousin's got an e-bike. She's 4, by the way, guys, and she can ride an e-bike. I was very impressed.
Yeah.
But she's not getting an e-bike just because she wants an e-bike. She stole Diaz's bike last time, but she can't steal this one. But I've blackmailed her, Patty. If she wants this e-bike from Wednesday until the end of our Bali trip, she's got to give me minimum 100 kisses a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's got to do it. So
Okay.
it's kisses.
Yeah, I
Stoked
like
with
it. I like how this is just Mimi's world and we're all living in it, because she said, "Daddy, I need you to buy me an e-bike like Diaz's, because when I stole Diaz's, like he wanted it back." As if like Diaz is in the wrong for wanting his own bike back.
What's his problem?
So because that's my problem, that some kid wants my cousin wants his bike back, so now you have to buy me one.
Yeah, she's adorable. So
She
Chloe
just
got
tells you what to do.
an Amazon box. So would have been maybe like 2 shoe boxes wide. And it was at the front door when Mimi came in. She's, "Daddy, is that my..."
2 shoe boxes wide.
She's like, "Is that my bike and you have to build it?" I said, "No, Mimi, it's not your bike."
And if it is, I am building it.
No, it's certainly, it's exactly right. She should know that.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then Ace was handsome, adorable, handsome, strong, kind. And I thought, like, that's really cool for us, right? We sent out this. I sent that message out to your wife, and then also to my wife, and got like replies straight away.
Mm-hmm.
But straight away, like that, they're the types of things that our kids think about us as well. And I think that's a really powerful, like tool for the parents out there. Ask your kids to describe you in 3 words and see what the answer comes back.
I think even better, ask somebody else to ask your kids.
Yes,
like
us.
ask your partner to ask your kids, because I feel like a kid's answer is going to be dictated by who's asking it.
Yeah.
And if it's you, and they're going to tell you what they think you want to hear.
All right, now we're going into the questions, Patrick, and they're for you now.
Okay.
So, question is:
wait.
being home the same as being present?
No, it definitely is not.
Yeah.
And I got a smack in the face a couple of weeks ago, Trav. I haven't spoken to you about this. I got a letter, or like a little book written to me from Cooper. And it was something about he was drawing something and he wanted to show me, and he wrote this to me. I wouldn't have seen him drawing it because I was on my phone.
Really?
It hit me hard, bro.
Yeah.
It hit me hard. And I remember at the time, I had a bit of work to do on my phone. Not for the entire time I was on my phone.
No.
And it's often the starting point, right? There's a reason why you go on your phone. And we've spoken before about how addictive these things can be. And you might have a message that, you get sent and you have to write back to. And I had to do some work stuff on my phone when I got home. But then there's half an hour to an hour to who knows, God knows how long, how much I was on my phone after that. And I remember it. I was like watching the footy, and I'm in group chats, and I'd had a bet on the footy, and I was like watching it. But there's the things that just get you looking at your phone,
Yeah.
and then you're 4 apps later down the track, and you're in this spiral of
Yeah.
this scroll, like, and you don't even realize you're doing it, and it hit me hard, and I like it. I
Yeah.
like that I got that, and that it hit me hard, and I've kept it on my bedside table deliberately. Like, it's a reminder every time, and I'll come home from work, and if I don't have anything to do, I'll put my phone on charge, and I'll walk out.
That's that's the best tip. Like I remember, like if I found myself watching. This is back when Conor McGregor was coming through. No, not when he was coming through. Sorry, this is back when Conor was in his prime. I'd watch like Conor McGregor stuff like hours, and I used to always have to put my phone upstairs so that I wouldn't go near it. I'm like, you got Mimi, so if I'm on my phone for too long,
Chill.
So Mimi will be like talking to me, and like I'll be giving her like. Not the answers that she's after. So she'll be like, Daddy, why aren't you talking? And then like, I
That's so good.
I won't answer her. And she's like, Daddy, use your words. And like, starts like grabbing my face. So I'm like, all right, I've got to. And like now, my hardest one is with Jet though. He's like, it's very similar to Cooper. I can be in the house with Jet sometimes
and not even
know he's there.
Yeah.
He's so silent. Whereas Ace just wants to talk all day long.
I remember seeing a something on social media, funnily enough, being sitting there on your phone to see it, and it said with each kid, and I've tried to do this, and I try and do it often, with each of your children, spend 15 minutes with them a day, or however often you can, and don't do anything or suggest anything or try and improve anything, and you just do whatever they want to do, instead of like me going, all right, kids, like, we're going to have some quality time. Let's go at the back and we'll play a game of soccer, and it'll be me and Zadie against Cooper and Mason. Like, let's sit up here. Like, we're all going to have so much fun. It's like, you just go and just do whatever your child is doing. Cooper, my eldest, as we've spoken about, like, our kids are right into technology and gaming and stuff. And I just went down and he was playing Minecraft,
Yeah, and you
right?
with him.
And I just sat down and said, Coop, can I play too? And he said, yeah. And he was so excited, and he gave me another controller and he set it all up. And I was taking the advice as I was doing it. And it's like, don't try and like create a game that, that both of us can play. Like, don't try and, whatever he's built in Minecraft, make it any better. Like, just go in, ask questions.
Did you win?
And just do. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you can, but like all I did, right? I was like, oh, what's that thing you're doing? And he's like, oh, I'm digging for this like metal or something. And I'm like, oh, what do you need that for? Oh, so I can build this. And like me just asking questions, he was so excited to tell me about his little world that he's got in there. And it's like, instead of me going, oh, let's put in a game where it's like a 2-player game we can play against each other. Like, that's me coming in and taking over and doing what I want to do or what I think he wants to do. Just go in and do what they want, and just like ask questions.
That's a good piece of advice from BJP. What does quality time actually look like?
I think I kind of just answered that.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you answer this?
Well, yeah, it's different, right? Every kid's kind of different. And I think it's doing what you just said then, Patty. It's like doing what they want to do, not what you want to do. So like ask your kids, what would you like to do today? And then seeing what their answer is, and then going and actually doing it. We both do the thing where we try to do at least one thing with each kid individually
every week. Yeah.
That's probably my best piece of advice there, is like try and do something with them individually. We're only like 3 weeks in, but it's fantastic. 3 weeks and 17 words. Me and Jed are up to so far. We go and have a sauna together.
Is that per week, or is that total?
Oh, 17? That's total. That's total.
Okay, so it's average about 6 a week.
Yeah, the first week was like 3 words, and like.
So we're getting better.
Yeah, we're definitely.
Here we
go. We're improving.
Proud of you.
Yeah, thank you, and he's so cute because like, I've got a lot of energy, and he's just so mellow, and me and Spud found each other in the locker room, Pat.
I'm filthy. I wasn't there.
You can imagine, right? So I've just come out of the sauna. Jet's with me. Spud's in there.
Oi. I want to chat to Spud for half an hour. I love that bloke.
And then we're talking about like how good life is, blah, 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 just getting excited. And then Man I Need came on. I don't know if you know that song, Patty.
Oh, I do know that song.
Oh, good. Fantastic.
If that came up on Fa'amanu's little game last week, I would have nailed it. Come give the man I need. I'm done, but anyway, keep going.
That was so good. I wish you kept going. So that came on, and me and Spud were just
Yeah, jamming.
getting into it, having a great time. And
Guilty.
little Jetty just sat there and just smiled at us.
Just watching.
Just watched. Just smiled the whole time. Didn't say a word.
Yeah.
Not a word. Like, and I was like, yeah, get into it, Jetty. He's like,
I love your son so much.
it was so cute. But yeah, having those times with the kids is really important. I actually wrote on my planning this morning. So next week I go away on holidays, and I just wrote for each kid have 4+ individual moments with them every, sorry,
Over
4+
the
moments for the week individually. But I'm gonna have a lot of time with them as well.
That's good.
All right, so next one, leading by example. What behaviors are your kids watching that you probably don't realize?
A big one here is, and it's deliberate, is discipline with like work, gym, and training. There was a time actually my wife got really upset and emotional a couple of years ago now when she said something about one of the kids was jumping on our bed, and she said, "Don't jump on mummy and daddy's bed." And I think it was Mason. He said, "That's not daddy's bed." She goes, "What do you mean?" "Daddy sleeps here." And then he said, "No, daddy sleeps at the gym." Because every day they wake up, I'm already at the gym, and they would come into bed with my wife, Danny, and then I'd say, "Where's daddy?" "Oh, he's at the gym." So they genuinely, at a young age, thought that I slept and lived at the gym.
Mimi thinks that I train at night.
Because it's dark when you train.
Yeah.
Like, I understand the logic.
Yeah, so do I.
So I definitely think that's something that they're watching, and they kind of just take for granted and won't really understand until later, like what it is that other people don't do. Another one is I don't drink very often alcohol, maybe like 3 or 4 times a year. And when I do, I have a good fun time. Don't get me wrong. But it was, again, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, my brother-in-law around the dinner table at family dinner said something about like, your dad wouldn't have a beer or something like that. And one of my sons said, "What's a beer?" And he kind of got laughed at as like, "What do you mean you don't know what a beer is?" And I was not sitting at the table, but I was maybe 10 meters away, and I heard the conversation. I kind of overheard. And I was so proud.
Yeah.
I was so proud that my son just didn't know what a beer is. And my brother-in-law was like, "Oh, like it's what dads drink." And he said, "My daddy doesn't drink it." And again,
spicy water.
I was so proud. Yeah, I just have spicy water, sparkling water. And I was so proud. So I think that's another one there where they see a lot of other dads that might drink and that get drunk and carry on, and they don't, I mean, they've seen it once or twice, but they don't often see their dad do it. And I'd say yours is pretty similar, Trav, in that sense.
Yeah. Jet, I stopped drinking when Jet was 14 months. So obviously Jet wouldn't remember it, but Ace and Miami have never and will never see me ever drink. But for what behaviors are your kids watching that you probably don't realize? I think, and this is not just going to sit here and say all the good things that I do, but like, I think even like the way you speak to your partner, that like I have moments, and I've had some bad moments, and I've heard like my kids speak to either each other or to Chloe, and I go, that's in a negative way. That's me. And I think that's
eye-opening.
It's not one that or for me, I wasn't as aware of, because like you can make all the excuses you want, like you're tired, you're hungry, whatever it might be, you're stressed, but your kids don't need to see that either. And I think that's something that we forget, that our kids are always watching.
Aren't they?
And they do as you do. They don't do as you say.
Yeah.
So if I'm saying that be respectful to your mother, and then I'm sitting there having an argument with it in front of them, I think that's probably my biggest thing that I need to watch, is like when we're having conversations, there's ways to
disagree and still show respect.
Yeah,
exactly. Agreed.
Exactly.
And I've pulled up my kids on the way they speak to their mother, and I'm very aware of not doing the same. Like you said, it's crucial. I remember hearing a line that says, your kids' future inner voice is the voice they hear from their parents before they're 10 years old.
Yeah.
So the words that I say to my kids, I take Zadie on a bike ride. We go to basketball every Tuesday, and there's a couple of hills, and she'll always get to the bottom and be like, Daddy, I might have to get off and walk on this hill. And I'm always like, I'm so wary of like the words, you can do it, like believe in yourself, like stuff like that. The words that you say to your kid are the words that they have as their inner dialogue for the rest of their life. I love that line.
Yeah, well, my biggest thing that I always hear is back yourself, and that's what my dad said to me all the time.
And that's what you say to your kids. I hear all the time.
And they say back to me now. But yeah, like on that, right? So how you speak to your wife is obviously how they see how they will interpret their relationship later on in life as well. And the most important decision for both my daughter and my sons is the person that they marry.
Number one.
So it's the number one decision, and guiding them into like what a relationship actually looks like. You and I have spoken this about a lot about with our daughters in particular, but it also goes for the boys as well, is teaching them what a healthy relationship looks like so that they can have that with their partner, and then their partner, and then their kids can also that generational relationship intelligence transfers.
Good term, Travis.
Thank you,
Well
Patrick.
done.
So I think like that's one that people probably neglect. As I'm speaking on my own behalf, is like I've been aware of a few things where I've heard it back, and I'm like, that's not the
Doesn't sound good on the other side of the fence, does it?
No, and you've got to be aware of those things, and they're really can be really small things at the time, but if you consistently do those things over and over and over again, that they're the type of behaviors that your son or your daughter will repeat in their relationship as well. Yes, exactly. So when you're in that moment and you're heated or whatever it is, think to yourself, would I like my son or daughter to either be spoken to or speak to their partner this way? And it's something that like I'm working on as well. And it's so I'm not just sitting there saying this is what I do. This is like something that I've had to work on myself.
And it is hard with someone like you, Trav, that gets emotional quite
speak
quickly
from emotion,
and can the fuse can shorten with in an emotional situation.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, when you're tired and hungry and stuff like that, it's like understanding when you are at your weak points, and it's like, okay, I need to pull up a bit here and not just do what my emotion wants me to do.
Yeah, learn to walk away is probably like mine. Like I just,
that's hard.
Yeah, like always being a fighter and just being like, there's no
never back down type thing.
Yeah, and like I'm sorry, I know when there's no reasoning with me. Like I understand.
Yeah.
We've spoken about it. Like
I've seen it too with you and myself as well.
Yeah,
as getting
like there's time where you just like you're like I can't be reasoned with.
No matter what answer comes, nothing's gonna be good enough.
So there's no point in me being here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So there's no point in continuing the conversation and being in this environment.
You being aware of that in the moment, that's huge.
Yeah,
huge for you.
Yeah, working on it.
One more point on that, and I know we're kind of going down different tangents here. Is any dad out there with a daughter is be aware that girls seem to, when they grow up, be attracted to a type of a man that their dad is or was, and the way you live your life. Would you want your daughter to marry someone like that? Or I'll frame that a bit different. Be the man, or the type of man that you want your daughter to marry, because she will. Yeah.
That's 100% true. So why is looking after your own health one of the greatest gifts you can give your own children?
There's a stat out there that is something like, and I don't know why this is skewed more towards dads than mums, but it was something like if a child has a parent who's fit and healthy, they're 3 times more likely to grow up and not be overweight and be fit and healthy themselves. And if a child has 2 parents that are fit, healthy, and of a healthy body weight, they are 9 times more likely to grow up and be fit, active, and healthy themselves. And like you mentioned before, Trav, it's not what you say, it's what you do. Kids will not do as they're told. They will mirror what is modeled in front of them. And if you are consistently exercising, and I love, Trav, that we bring our kids in the gym, and the gym isn't an intimidating environment. The gym is a fun environment, and it's where mummy and daddy do their training, and our kids will on occasion come in and train with us. I love that. So I
Big
think
fan
that's
of it.
huge impact on a kid's life. What do you think?
Like, if you could kind of have a silver bullet for where success comes from, like I think a lot of it comes to the down to you being able to look after your own health, right? If you look after your own health and you stay fit and you stay healthy, generally that delves into success as well. So like if we could hand off one thing to our kids in terms of our discipline with our health and how we approach our fitness, I think that one thing will carry them a long way across multiple areas in their life.
Good line, Travis.
Thanks, Patrick. All right, we'll wrap these. We'll make these pretty quick. So, living your values. What values do you hope your kids inherit from watching you?
I use this term often. My kids often don't like it at the time, but that's what happens. If you say you're going to do something, you do it.
Yeah.
It's my number one rule in life, and I push it on my kids. And there's times that they've said something, and I'm like, all right, we're here now. We're going to do it because you said you're going to do something, you're going to do it. So that's definitely my number one. But there's also kind of what we were leaning on before with respect, especially respecting women. Having two sons, one of the biggest things that I want my boys to grow up with is having boys that respect females in any capacity whatsoever. I think that's crucial.
Love that. My three. We got three values as the youngs. It's accountability, honesty, and honesty, and respect.
Yep.
The respect is respect others and respect yourselves. Honesty. I love the honesty one. Because I can tell when Mimi lies now, and she says, "Oh, I didn't do that," because she doesn't really understand what she's doing. It really upsets Ace, or it really upsets Jet if she doesn't tell the truth. They're
How
like,
good.
"You're lying. That is not true." And then the accountability part is, I lead from the front here because often I do things wrong, and I will always own my shit. Is whenever they do something wrong, I will never get upset or as upset at my kids if they show accountability and they can apologize and say sorry and have some sort of action towards, being better next time. So hearing my kids when they do something wrong, it doesn't eliminate what they've done wrong, but when they apologize and own it, there's almost that sense of like pride all right, I'm proud of them for owning their shit, because I know how difficult that is. I used to do it a lot as a kid. I knew how hard it was always saying sorry, especially with like, big ego like myself.
You're very good at it now, Travis.
Yeah. Like lots of apologies over the
practice.
years.
I want to lean on the honesty one too. I have said to my kids so many times, I don't care ever what you've done. You will not get in trouble for what you've done if you're honest about it and if you tell me. And further to that, I remember hearing a line somewhere, and I now start using it. I use it heaps. Is you're not going to get in trouble for what you've done if you tell me, but if I find out from someone else, you're in trouble then.
Yeah.
So like you own it and be upfront with me. And I remember a specific example. We got those, what do you call when there's like a photo and they blow it up and they wrap it around the wood? What's that called?
No idea.
I just really didn't explain it well. Anyway, Mason had one of those and Cooper drew on it, made a funny face on it. This is years ago. Like I think it would have been like 4 or 5. And Danny, my wife, when she saw it, she blew it. And like he's ruined it. He's absolutely ruined it. And it cost a decent amount of money. And Mason loved it. And she went off her top. And I stopped her straight away because she was about to absolutely...
Wrapped in canvas? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, canvas. Sorry. Yep. And she was about to tear Cooper a new one, which he probably deserved. And I said, babe, just stop right now. One favor, please. Let me deal with this. And I took Cooper in the room and closed the door. I said, Cooper, remember, you're never going to get in trouble for what you do, but you get in trouble if you lie about it. Did you draw on Mason's canvas? And he said, yep. And I said, thank you so much for telling me. And I said, what do you think about it? And he said, Daddy, it was the wrong thing to do. And I said, you're right, it was the wrong thing to do. I gave him a cuddle and I said, I still love you. Thank you for telling me. I walked out and I saw the steam coming out of Danny's ears. And I said, Danny, I've dealt with it. And I just tried to bring the emotion out of the situation. And I want to do that more and more with my kids so
Yeah.
they know. He knows it's the wrong thing. He doesn't need to be yelled at, being screamed at, telling him it was the wrong thing. But you be honest about it, play on. Sorry, I'm over talking these answers, aren't
you
I?
did great. I'm just going to our last question. Are your daily actions matching the lessons you're trying to teach?
I'll answer with the word mostly.
Yeah.
And like what you mentioned before, it's a work in progress. The phone thing, like I said, hit me between the eyes and I love it. I love that it did because it's that reminder, that constant reminder that and it was a powerful enough hit between the eyes. But I'd like to say the vast majority of things, absolutely. One of the biggest sources of pride I have is that I do live my life how I would like my kids to.
Agreed. My answer is almost identical. I said mostly. I don't think there's any perfect parents out there. But I think if we can all learn off each other, having these types of discussions where, we don't just talk about the good stuff, we talk about our flaws as well. Because otherwise, it becomes like Instagram reels, right? It's just the highlight reels. Whereas if we can normalize having these conversations with parents, so especially in the area that we live in, is like the Southern Shire, it's very pretentious. But if you can sit there and have these conversations with, someone close, like maybe Pat are really fortunate we can have these conversations regularly. But if you guys can start opening up and having these conversations with other parents, things that you're struggling with, not necessarily with parenting, like, my kid's doing this, like, what about you?
Yeah. How are you trying to deal with something?
Exactly, right? So it's not so much, oh, my kid's struggling. It's like, where can I be better? And have those types of conversations. Ask your kids these questions, or get your partner, to ask these questions. So you're not just guessing.
One thing I want to rap you about, Trav, is how open you are and how often you will apologize to your kids for what you see as having done wrong yourself. You've told me about the times when you've done it. I've seen you do it on occasions, and it can be very difficult for a parent that is seen as an authority figure to admit that they've been wrong and apologize for things. I know it's something I struggle with, and I see other mums and dads out there that would not even think about apologizing no matter how wrong they are. And it can be hard when I know that, like, my kid's looking up to me as a dad of, like, well, dad's always right. There's your dad, I know when I was looking up to my dad, there's no way my dad would make a wrong decision. Like, dad he's the pillar of truth. He knows what the right thing is to do, and he always does the right thing. And which has now led on to me, but you having that self-awareness and the ability to put your ego to the side and apologize to your kids for what you've done wrong and how you've spoken to them or how you've acted, I think you should be applauded for it. Well done.
Thank you, Patrick. I think it's one of the things that it's one of my strengths. But we all have our weaknesses, like I was saying with parenting. It's so hard, especially when we put it on such a big pedestal of being, the best parent, the best that we can be.
The one thing I want to be in life.
Yeah, 100%. So we can only, like everything, we can only just try our best every single day to be better than the day before. Well, that was a great podcast.
It's a really nice podcast.
To finish on your little one-liner, I'm taking Paddy's little one-liner that you normally finish on. So your kids will not become what you tell them to become. They will become what they see every single day. So your kids won't do what you say; they'll do what you do.
So do good.
Peace. So do good. Be better. Peace.